So welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I found a 4-cylinder turbo inside of this Silverado, and this one has a 5.3 liter V8. As you guys know, gas prices is out of control, so this is a good conversation to start having. Which one should I go with? Are you really going to get any fuel economy benefits getting a smaller displacement engine, or is this 5.3 liter V8 the way to go? I don't know. So we're gonna find out in this video today. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drive this Silverado on the left first, and we're gonna see how this 4-cylinder turbo is gonna do. Let's get started. Alrighty, so we're gonna drive this custom first. Let me go ahead and put my seatbelt on. Probably the first thing you should do before you put your car in drive, right? So we're gonna reset the fuel economy for the trip one. So let me just get in position where we're gonna do it at. So that orange barrier, I'm gonna line up with it right here. And what I'll do, the engine is actually, let's see here, engine is almost warmed up. So as you guys know, in order to make this fair, we're gonna have to drive it first before I reset the fuel mileage, okay? So here are the numbers for the Silverado. Now this truck weighs 5,107 pounds. It has a gross fuel weight rating of 7,000. If you subtract the GVWR from the curb weight, your payload is 1893. And I showed you all the towing numbers in the last video. So this truck will most likely weigh less than this one because it has less options on it. Now it does have, you know, these fender flares. It does have this bar out back, so these things do add weight. And one thing I'm gonna, you know, give an advantage to is this one does have a bed cover, which helps with wind resistance hitting the back of the tailgate. And this one does have a little bit longer bed from what it looks like. Yeah, this one has a longer bed too, so this one probably will get affected by that, so just keep that in mind. Alright, so I haven't gone that much further from the last time I checked in, but as you guys can see, it's still not quite there. But it actually just went up a little bit more. It's a little cold outside today, so 55 degrees. That's not ideal for the most part. I mean, 55 degrees is pretty chilly. And I think the best temperatures for best fuel economy is like in the 70s. No humidity, it's like perfect. All right, so we're gonna reset it here. This should be good. I mean, the engine's warm enough to, you know, be operating. So let's go ahead and reset the trip one. And then we're gonna go ahead and go down the road. So we're gonna do a little bit of city first. And then we'll jump on the highway, probably get at least 5 miles out of that. And then we'll just head back to the dealership. And then I'll show you guys where we end off at. Alrighty, so here we go. We're up at operating temperature. And yeah, so far we've only driven a mile. So this inline 4 turbocharged engine is definitely one you really want to do some research on. I'm pretty sure you don't have to worry about reliability. I think that this is probably going to be fine. I mean, you're not doing a lot of heavy lifting with this, but overall we're running at about 65 miles an hour. And we're actually about 1,500 RPM, so that's pretty good. This does have an 8-speed transmission. And overall, the tires feel good. As I said in the last video, you know, this truck definitely does feel comfortable driving. But the biggest goal for me out of this video is I want to see how close can I get to 20 miles per gallon. Because if you're going to spend money on a truck, I think depreciation is going to be a factor on this truck. Something I'm really interested to see too, I'm really glad I picked this truck again with that bar in the back of the bed. I'm wondering if it's creating a little bit of some noise, like wind noise inside the truck. I think it is a little bit windy today, but not having the audio on, I can really hear some wind going around that bar. I don't know if you guys can see it back there, but there is a bar, and yeah, it does create some wind noise in here. So if you like to drive without music on, that might be something you might want to think about. It does look cool, but is it something that's gonna be annoying over time? But for the most part, man, this truck is comfortable to drive. We've only driven 3.5 miles. I'll turn around at about 5 miles. We're getting almost 16.9. I mean, this road has a little bit of hills on it, but for the most part, it is pretty much a straight road. So it should get closer to where it's saying on the sticker. But when I slow down and turn around, it's gonna drop that down again. So just keep that in mind. So I'm really interested to see how that 5.3 is gonna do in comparison with it. All right, so here's what we have, guys. This is gonna be an inline 4-cylinder turbo inside the custom. And this truck is going to be good for 310 horsepower, 348 pound-feet of torque, and it is mated to a 8-speed transmission. And then this one does have a 342 rear end. So we're going to see at the end of this video, basically, you know, how does it compare with the 5.3 liter? Is it really worth saving the money on this truck? We'll find out soon enough. Alrighty, so we're about to do the U-turn here. So we're gonna coast down. Brakes feel pretty good. We're at 18 MPG basically, but we're gonna drop, like I said, I'll do a little bit of moderate acceleration here. Alright, so we're going to get back up to 65. Now I do have the air conditioning off, all that good stuff. And just know that I'm going to do the same thing for both trucks too. Now this truck does have a bed cover too. And I think sometimes bed covers do help reduce resistance, like with the wind hitting the back of the tailgate. So that might be a good benefit for this truck too. So actually we didn't lose that much on fuel economy. If you are going to buy a turbocharged car, I think the best way to drive these cars is staying out of the turbo. So when I did accelerate from that, you know, U-turn, I don't think I really got into the boost. And when you start accelerating hard on diesel engines, on gasoline engines, when you have turbos, they will just destroy your fuel economy. So that's something that I'm seeing here is I didn't really lose that much miles per gallon because I really did stay out of the turbo. So it was really just the engine getting us up to speed. So that's just going to help you get the best fuel economy if you are considering this. Stay out of the turbos. It's the best way I can say it. Now, as you guys saw in the last video I did on this truck, this did have a 342 rear end, and that's going to really help with fuel mileage too. So one thing you'll see with the 5.3, I believe that truck had a 323. So it's geared a little bit lower, and that's going to really, you know, help with fuel economy. And typically, having a lower gearing will help with acceleration too and top speed typically. But right now, 8.3 miles driven, 18.3 MPG. That is not bad. I'm really happy with that number. I don't know if we're going to get to 20 though. I don't know if we're going to get to 20. That might be a little tough. So we're going to pretty much be there in a few minutes. So we might get just over 10 miles off of this drive here. All right, we're almost back. 19.2, that's not too bad, guys. That is not too bad. Wow. So you're just cruising along on the highway. You know, you can get this fuel economy, but you got to really, really, really take it easy. You know, you got to keep in mind, I mean, this is a 5,000 pound vehicle with a small 4-cylinder engine, 2.7 displacement. It's not a big engine. Yeah, it's pretty, I mean, it's big for the 4-cylinder size, but it's not a big engine overall. I'm actually surprised. I think you can probably get this. Now, I know some people are going to say in the comment section that the trip is always inaccurate with fuel economy. I have found on my truck, if I do a lot of highway driving or if I'm consistently driving and I get, you know, fuel, it's typically correct. So if you don't trust it, you can always average it down by 1 or 2 if you like. But I think with this drive, it was pretty accurate. 19.7, now it dropped down a little bit more. But we're not back yet though. And disregard that tire light. I know that it's showing that the tire light's on. I think there's an issue with the tire pressure monitoring system. It just needs to probably be run back through the shop to have it reset. But the air pressure is fine in the tires though. And that pretty much sums it up there. So we ended off at 19.6 at 11.4 miles. That is not bad. I am really happy with those numbers, guys. I mean, for a 4-cylinder turbo, I would definitely have expected probably a little bit less. I was thinking like 17. I think when it's all said and done, you'll probably get 16 to 17 MPG. I did some videos on the new Toyota Tundra, and a couple guys in the comment section of that video were saying they're only averaging about 13 to 15 MPG. Now, as I said earlier, if you are looking at turbocharged engines, you have to learn how to drive one. Maybe if I have a chance, maybe if I get a bigger displacement V6 twin turbo, I'll show you guys what I would do. If there's a boost gauge, that's the first thing I would always keep up. You have to learn. And actually, you know what? I have a truck. I could do it with my own truck and show you exactly what I do. So I know these are going to be a little bit more popular. So this is a good option to have if you are kind of going towards fuel efficiency. Now let's go ahead and drive the 5.3. Alrighty, so it's a little bit warmer than it was today. I think it was like 55 when we drove the Custom. But this truck is definitely a little bit heavier. I'll show you guys the weight of this truck in a little bit. And it's gonna have a V8, so that's gonna, you know, really affect it. But I will reset the fuel economy, which is this trip 1, as we get further down the road here. Pretty much in the exact same spot. So we'll get a good, you know, apples to apples test here. But I will say, having this slightly nicer interior, leather seats, all the 9. This is nice. Sunroof. It's a beautiful truck. And you cannot deny these half-ton rides, man. They really ride well. And one thing I will mention is this one does seem a little bit quieter. One of those bars on that Custom has something to do with the road noise I was getting. Could be the tires also. This truck does have some general grabbers compared to the ones that were on the Custom. I've already forgot what they were. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think they were Bridgestones, maybe. A little bit more aggressive tire, and I think that's why this truck feels a little bit more smoother too. All right, so we're gonna reset the fuel economy here. All right, it's reset, and we're gonna get down the road. So here are the numbers for the black Chevy Silverado with the 5.3. Now the gross fuel weight does go up a little bit with that 5.3 to 100 pounds. The curb weight is 5,437 pounds. And if you subtract the gross vehicle weight reading from the curb weight, this is your payload. Hopefully you guys can see all this. And then here's some of your towing information down here. So this truck does not have max tow. So if you want that, that's something that you might want to option on your truck if you're planning on towing. Even if you're not planning on towing this much, it's still good to have. Alrighty, so we're at cruise control on 65 miles an hour. Air conditioner, everything's off. And I want to point out something real quickly. These mirrors, they seem like they sit a little low. In the comment section, if you have a Chevy Silverado with these mirrors, let me know what your thoughts are. It does have a convex, which is helpful, especially for towing a trailer. But it just seemed like they sit a little low. But I did adjust them the best I could. But yeah, these tires are a huge improvement over the ones on the Custom. I can instantly tell that they're a little bit more softer. They're swallowing up the bumps in the road a lot better. And overall, I mean, the fuel economy is, you know, not bad. 14.3, not bad at all. But we have probably like another 3 miles before we have to make the U-turn, so things could change drastically. Now, I don't know, in the comment section, you know, does GM have like an indicator that says, hey, you're in active fuel management? I don't really see where it would come on that, but let me know in the comment section. I did notice on this truck and on the 4-cylinder turbo, for some reason, the auto stop does not come on. Now I see that it's on, but for some reason it's not indicating in the truck. So yeah, I don't know. But we're gonna go ahead and get down the road. Like I said, we got a few more miles, and then I'll make a U-turn and I'll check back in there. All right, so here it is. This is gonna be that 5.3 liter V8. Now this engine has been with Chevy for a long time, and it's just been that tried and true engine for them. Now as far as horsepower goes, this does have 355, and that comes on at 5,600 RPMs, and the torque number is going to be 383, and that comes on at around 4,100 RPMs. It is mated to an 8-speed transmission, just like this 4-cylinder turbo. So I'm not too much worried about that. Now, where the benefit of this truck is, it does have a 323 rear. So fuel economy should be pretty comparable on the highway if you do a long drive. So let's go ahead and get back to the video and see how it's gonna do. Alrighty, so I'm checking back in because you see that? 17.3 MPG. That is really good. I did have a little bit more idling because I hit 2 stoplights on the last run I did with the 4-cylinder turbo. I didn't have as many stops. I went through both lights without stopping, basically. So I'm already almost at 18 MPG. Here's what I think. I think that if you are really concerned about fuel economy, this may be something on your list to really consider. When you have a less performing engine, you tend to want to drive it quicker. So in my opinion, I think that if you're going to get the 4-cylinder turbo, it should be for the purpose of saving the extra cash on a lower trim level. However, if you're trying to get the best fuel economy possible, we're pretty much at 19 MPG on the highway here. Now we do have to accelerate, so it's going to drop a little bit. Now there are some factors. Tires can be a factor on your fuel economy. This truck does have a 323 rear axle. That's going to have an effect too. So it is lower than the 342, which is pretty low actually. They're both pretty good. So yeah, I mean, I don't know guys, this is pretty close. And like I said, I'm already back up at 60 at this point. Let me go ahead and set it up. But yeah, this is not bad at all. So as far as the RPMs go, they're running about the same, which is to be expected. I didn't know if the 323 rear would make it run a little bit, you know, lower or higher. Typically when you go with a higher axle ratio, it would make it run a little bit higher in the RPMs, but it's pretty much the same. If anything, it's probably a little bit lower. It looks like it's slightly under 1,500 RPMs in comparison with that 4-cylinder turbo. Overall, guys, I have a little bit of a headwind hitting me. I'm sure you can hear it. And I don't think I had that earlier today. So 17.9 is not bad. We finished off at, I think, 19.6, 19.4 in that ballpark with the 4-cylinder. So it's not bad. They both use regular gasoline, so you don't have to use premium for neither. Although I would definitely research, you know, your quality of fuel to make sure you're getting the best performing fuel you can get inside your truck, because that does take into effect when, you know, as your pistons and everything gets dirty from any type of blow off from the deposits. It's something to consider too. But yeah, like I said, I'm really happy with this overall truck. I mean, this truck's more money. It really is. So you have to figure out what your payments are, all that stuff, and then compare down the road which one's going to be worth more, because I think that could be a big issue for some people trying to sell a 4-cylinder turbocharged pickup truck. I just noticed that the truck was in the active fuel management because I accelerated a little bit. I just got off the cruise control because traffic started to pick up a little bit, and I clearly felt it felt a little underpowered. I didn't hit it hard. Probably gave maybe 10% throttle, and you can definitely feel it. So it doesn't show an indicator for it. I would like for GM maybe to fix that in the future, but man, I don't know. That seems to be about the same. I just think that sometimes manufacturers will do things to try to advertise better fuel mileage, but in reality, you don't really see a big difference. If it was like 21, 22 miles to the gallon, I would be a little bit more excited about it. But when I saw 20 and 17, I'm like, not that big of a deal. So yeah, and if you don't know how to drive a 4-cylinder, like I said earlier, that too could affect your fuel mileage. So just keep that in mind. 19.6. We're not back yet. So I don't think I stopped at the light earlier. I stopped at a lot more lights. And yeah, I feel like this truck legitimately basically matched the same fuel mileage. So it dropped down 0.5. I'm going to say it was 19.6, but you know, hey, 19.5. So you got to ask yourself the question, is it really worth getting a truck with a 4-cylinder? I mean, again, you're going to get the price point, but you're not going to get that much better fuel economy. And to be fair, let me look at this truck. I mean, that truck is pretty aggressive. I think that maybe I'm being a little harsh because those tires, just that bar in the back. I mean, a lot of those things can affect fuel economy, but again, that bed cover should have helped too. I think that that's probably more of like a long-term fuel economy run, because, you know, that wind hitting the back of the tailgate is probably going to have a prolonged effect on fuel economy on a long trip. But overall, I think my bet would be for the 5.3. I think resale value is going to be better. I think that, yeah, this truck would serve its purpose better having the bigger displacement. In the comment section, please give me your thoughts. So there you have it. 2.7 versus 5.3. My pick goes with the 5.3. I think that if you really are concerned about fuel mileage, I think that you're wasting your time on this side. I think that if you're concerned about the price of the truck, I would say all bets go here. And of course, you can get a dressed down custom. I mean, this does have some extra options, like the fender flares, that bar, you know, a little bit more aggressive tire. So all in all, I really think that this is probably the truck I would choose, the 5.3. And I actually like these tires a little bit better. They were a lot more cushiony on the road compared to these. So you tell me, guys, in the comment section. But thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Be sure to like the video. It really does help me out a ton, and it shows your appreciation for the content. See you soon.